Crash Drive 2 is a toy stunt car simulation that's developed by M2H game studios. The core gameplay is an online multiplayer resemblance to the Joyride mode in the cult classic Hot Wheels Velocity X. The difference being that you and 9 other players roam around in a mini sandbox level, finding cash, reaching rings, and performing stunts or screwing around with each other while waiting on the next event. When the events occur, you are challenged to completing a certain objective faster and better than your competition, such as tagging the most stunt ramps, or trying to hold a crown for until your timer reaches 0. These randomized scenarios make for a hectic experience, especially when your objectives get switched around in a decent variety of ways. I really enjoyed Velocity X, and the thrills of going really fast and then somersaulting in the air translated very well in Crash Drive 2. But please add weapons to the vehicles in Crash Drive 3. I really loved that system. The controls are super solid for a mobile port. In fact, I feel like this game would have been easier to control on a PC or console. There is an incentive to participation though, besides competing on the online leaderboards. You need to level up your vehicles to get the best out of their abilities by drifting, speeding, stunting, and accelerating up to maximum level. Leveling up your vehicles will also boost the chance of leveling up your main profile to unlock new cars to purchase, which there are 30 different vehicles in total. You earn cash from participation in events, finding cash crates, pulling stunts, or even coming back to the game after absence. Lastly, in order to unlock new levels, you need to score an X amount of points, reach a certain amount of rings, and win a specific number of events from the previous stages. For those who love unlocking things, this may come as a disappointment, as it took me 5 hours to get a 60% completion. But I honestly welcome the pacing, as I have more enjoyment out of the game with more cars to choose from and more maps to compete on. Now, while I'd like to love this game, as I certainly had a lot of satisfaction playing it, it's not quite as excellent as Velocity X, and not solely because it's just Joyride mode of the game, and there are no weapons on the vehicles. The weakest portion of the game, and thankfully the smallest, is a tank battle mode where you choose between 5 different tanks to compete in a deathmatch. The goal here is to send opposing tanks flying off the stage to gain the most points. The mode is extremely underwhelming and can get quickly tiresome, as there is a strong lack of variety of maps and progression doesn't really mean anything at all here. The worst of it all, the camera is pulled back to where you don't get a good sense of your surroundings, as most of my deaths came from getting shot off screen. There's also a weird spawn issue where you can sometimes appear on top or right in front of an enemy player. It's fun sending tanks flying though, so at least the mode doesn't suck. There are no offline modes outside of a couple of laughably easy boss races, and there's no dedicated servers or custom match options. One of the biggest annoyances is that you don't have the free option to choose whether or not you want to participate in the next event, unless if it's a race. I really want the complaints to end here, but the non-functional friends feature just adds more salt to the wound. My friend and I tried to search for each other's names, and the game claims they don't exist. We also tried to join an invite through Steam, and the game claims that the lobby is full, despite when there's far less than 10 players in the server. Because of this and a couple of other previously mentioned issues, Crash Drive 2 for $4 plus a free extra copy is only enjoyable. Oh, and the graphics also look dated, but I honestly didn't care about that too much.